We are proud of Mr. Kalam, but Mr. Khan actually made the world more unsafe as well. It's a very tricky thing actually, because if you are privy to nuclear, I think any sort of idea, it's very dangerous.
Vajpayee ji very specifically said that there's going to be a no first use policy. We're not going to use this against any country first. We're not going to use this against any country at all that doesn't have nuclear weapons. I met a 65-year-old man and I said, आप थे यहाँ पे जब ये टेस्ट हुए थे? And he's saying, हाँ मैं था. I said, तो क्या हुआ, मतलब ज़मीन हिला, क्या हुआ, आपके घर को क्या हुआ? You know, I asked him and he's saying, बेटा मेरा दीवार टूट गया. And he showed me the cracks and I said, आपने वैसे ही छोड़ा है? He said, हाँ वैसे ही छोड़ा है क्योंकि दीवार टूट गया लेकिन इंडिया तो बन गया ना.
क्या बात है?
Hi, this is John Abraham and you're watching Bollywood Hungama.
You spoke about Kalam Saab. Now, I think his life is an example to many in terms of, and I think it was a hugely selfless life even after just getting away from being the president. He was still speaking to students, he was still devoting his time to just imparting education or whatever knowledge that he had. And he's the missile man of this country. At the same time, say if you're talking about Pakistan, so Mr. Khan, who made their nuclear weapon, he actually made the world a more dangerous place by actually just selling the secrets to various other countries, which I think is another aspect of that having power and maybe misusing that. So we are proud of Mr. Kalam, but Mr. Khan actually made the world more unsafe as well. It's a very tricky thing actually, because if you are privy to nuclear, I think any sort of idea, it's very dangerous, and you have to be extremely responsible, no matter what your loyalties or what your personal requirements are.
Yes, I just think where the film's concerned, our clear focus was on telling the world what we did, or telling our people what we did.
Correct.
We're not here to, like, and I keep reiterating this, we're not here to give our point of view on what our neighbors did. That's not our concern at this point.
I'm not saying about the neighbors, I'm saying it can be anyone else. But it can be anyone else.
When it goes into somebody's hands,
it can be anyone else.
Yeah, it is probably the most dangerous thing. And I must say this on record, from my director to me to, and I was just going to say to my producer, I'm the producer also. You know, we're all very anti-nuclear. And when you see the film, you'll understand why India conducted the tests. And Vajpayee ji very specifically said that there's going to be a no first use policy. We're not going to use this against any country first. We're not going to use this against any country at all that doesn't have nuclear weapons. So I don't know whether the viewers understand, but you know, the radiation in certain areas where nuclear tests have been conducted or atom bombs have been dropped.
Yeah, I know.
The radiation lasts
I've seen documentaries about this entire Nagasaki and
Hiroshima.
It is still very impacted.
You know, the radiation lasts not for 20 years, not for 30 years, not for 50 years, not for 70 years. In some cases, for 1,000 years. This is how we destroy the world.
The soil has been destroyed. The generations have been in soil in terms of genetics. So it is like,
tell you something very interesting.
It is very horrifying.
Yeah, I have to tell you something very interesting, and this is true. I've used the word of that little town next to Pokhran. It's called Khatoli. And I went to Khatoli during my research for this film. And it's a town closest to the Pokhran range. And I met a 65-year-old man. And I said, आप थे यहाँ पे जब ये टेस्ट हुए थे? And he's saying, हाँ मैं था. I said, तो क्या हुआ, मतलब ज़मीन हिला, क्या हुआ, आपके घर को क्या हुआ? You know, I asked him. And he's saying, बेटा मेरा दीवार टूट गया. And he showed me the cracks. And I said, आपने वैसे ही छोड़ा है? He said, हाँ वैसे ही छोड़ा है क्योंकि दीवार टूट गया लेकिन इंडिया तो बन गया ना.
क्या बात है?
You know? So the minute he said that, I said, oh, I get goosebumps. Because the minute he said that, I said, I can't make my film sophisticated, noir, only for a few people. I want my film to be simplified so it reaches the lowest common denominator and everybody in this country can watch it. Yesterday, the people who served me tea in this office saw the film and they said, sir, ये India पे best film है sir. हम लोग बार-बार देखने जाएंगे इसको. And that's the reaction I want. I showed it to a couple The man is a retired Air Force officer and the wife is a school principal. The Air Force officer said, "This is the best film on this country." The wife said that this film should be in the curriculum of every school and college.
Wow.
Why? Not because I think we've had some path-breaking film, but because we've simplified it so sweetly. All credit to Abhishek Sharma. And we've actually told people very simply, this is what happened in Pokhran, this is how it happened in Pokhran.
Correct.
And we've laid it out very easily. Hi, this is John Abraham and you're watching Bollywood Hungama.